One of my favorite channeling sessions was an impromptu channeling session that I did for my dad and for my cousin. And because I work with my ancestors, my grandmother and my great aunt, her sister, was around me a lot. But around this time, they are around me like nonstop. I literally think they don't even left my side. And them being the pushy, bossy women that I know them to be, they were very, very persistent in me wanting to talk to my dad and talk to my cousin through me. Now, my dad's relationship with my grandmother wasn't the best. There's some trauma there that needed to be healed, and the same goes with my cousin and his mother, my great aunt. Now, the channeling session started off with my great grandmother, which my family calls Big Nana. Big Nana came in and she was telling me to tell my dad and tell my cousin to let it go. And what she meant by that was she wanted them to let go the pain, the hurt, the trauma, and the sorrow, the disappointments that basically was wrapped up in their relationships with their mothers, to let it go, and that was no longer serving them. Once my great grandmother came in, my grandmother, my dad's mother, came in, and she began to tell my dad that she did the best that she could do and that she loved him. Like, she genuinely loved him. She just didn't know how to show it. And she ended up apologizing to my dad for the things that she did to him. Right after my grandmother came, my great aunt, her sister, came and basically said the same thing to my cousin. And what I thought would be a simple channeling session with my great grandmother, my great aunt, and my grandmother turned out to be a big family reunion. So right after that, my grandfather showed up, and my dad had a lot of abandonment issues wrapped around my grandfather not being there. So my grandfather showed up and apologized and told my dad certain messages that pertained to him. And then right after my grandfather showed up, my uncle showed up. And I think what blew my dad and my cousin away is that I had never met my uncle a day in my life. He passed way before I was born. And so, like, I was able to describe him to a T, like what he was wearing, what he looked like, his facial expressions, and stuff like that. And then after my uncle, a few of my, like, I think my great great grandfather and my great grandfather showed up to give their messages and give their love to my dad and my cousin. What this channeling session taught me was that even though a person had passed on, there still could be healing, or a healing of the relationship. It also confirmed for me that when our physical body dies, our soul goes through this process where we see every decision that we made in our lives and how it affected everybody around us. And if need be, the person is able to apologize or make amends.